بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وعن أبي حمزة أنس بن مالك الأنصاري رضي الله تعالى عنه خادم رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. This is a hadith of Hazrat Anas bin Malik al-Ansari radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He was that personality that served Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. He always remained with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam hadaran wa safaran. When Nabi alayhi salam was a resident, when he was in Medina Sharif, he was with Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. When Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam had undertaken a journey and he was on safar, then also he was with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. When Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam came to Medina al-Munawwara, he was only 10 years old. And thereafter he stayed with Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam for 10 years. He joined Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam on his expeditions 18 times. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was pleased. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam made a lot of dua for him, and the dua that he made for him, Allah Ta'ala grant him barakah in his wealth, Allah Ta'ala grant him barakah in his children, Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala bless him, and Allah Ta'ala grant him entry into Jannah. From here we also learn that make khidmat of our seniors, make khidmat of our elders, and particularly our parents. When we will make their khidmat and we will take their du'as, then a person will go very far in life. So what was the effect and the consequence of this dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala blessed him with more than 120 children. He lived over the age of 100 years, and his orchard would bear fruit 2 times in a year. Normally an orchard bears fruit once a year, but through the barakat of the dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his orchard would bear fruit 2 times in a year. He passed away in the year 93 Hijri in Basra, and he was the last Sahabi that passed away there. So he narrates this hadith that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is reported to have said, "Allahu afrahu bi tawbati abdihi min ahadikum saqata ala ba'irihi wa qad adallahu fi ardin falatin." That Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala becomes more happy with the tawbah of his servant than any one of you that found his camel, whereas he had lost it in the desert. وفي رواية لمسلم, and it comes in a narration of Muslim Sharif, لله أشد فرحا بتوبة عبده حين يتوب إليه. That Allah Ta'ala becomes more happy with the tawbah of his servant when he makes tawbah to him. من أحدكم كان على راحلته بأرض فلات. Then any one of you that was upon his conveyance in the desert, فانفلتت منه وعليها طعامه وشرابه فأيس منها. The camel had then slipped away from him, and upon the camel was his food and his drink. But he lost hope of finding that camel, because where is he going to find it? In the desert. So here Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gives a description, gives an example of a person that is in the desert, and he has his camel with his food, with his drink, everything on it. And this camel then escapes from the master, it runs away from the master. But everything is now gone. Where is he going to find it now in the desert? Very difficult to find it. So this person, he loses total hope. Now perhaps he will just wait for death to arrive. So Nabi alayhi salam says, فَأَتَى شَجَرَةً فَاتَّجَعَ فِي ظِلِّهَا. He comes to a tree and he lays down in the shade of that tree. وَقَدْ أَيْسَ مِنْ رَاحِلَتِهِ. He has lost all hope of his conveyance. فَبَيْنَمَا هُوَ كَذَلِكَ إِذْ هُوَ بِهَا قَائِمَةٌ عِنْدَهُ. Whilst he's in this state now, totally despondent, suddenly he sees his camel standing by him. فأخذ بخطامها. He holds it by its reins. ثم قال من شدة الفرح. Then he says, out of excessive happiness that he has now found his camel, so he says, اللهم أنت عبدي وأنا ربك أخطأ من شدة الفرح. Wallah, you are my servant and I am your Rabb. He makes this error out of excessive happiness. So when a servant, he turns to Allah Ta'ala, he returns to Allah, he makes tawbah. A Muslim intentionally, he doesn't commit sin, but he makes an error sometime, he slips sometime and he committed a sin, and then he makes tawbah to Allah Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala becomes more happy with this servant of his than what the master became happy, or the owner of the camel became happy by finding his camel. He made an error because he was so happy, and he said, Allah, you are my servant and I am your Rabb. Whereas in reality he's supposed to say, Allah, you are my Rabb and I am your servant. Allah Ta'ala becomes more happy than that person also. We'll continue from here, inshallah.